to the LEC, where we have a very special guest, Markoon, of absolutely crushed Misfits. Markoon, congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking of Mike. So yeah, I think it's a bit hard to talk about that game because it was so convincing. So I'm just going to let you kind of summarize why you think that you stomped them so much.
I think they just inted early game, and then we just they didn't really do much, and we just closed the game out. We just took Drake, Herald. It felt very that I don't think they just fought back at any point. They just let us kind of win the game.
The meta looks to be really interesting when you look at the first rotation you had, especially Yumi, Twitch. We saw some really spicy picks so far. What's your take on what we've been seeing and how wide it is?
Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much, but I think the patch allowed for some more creativity in the draft, and I think it's less punishing early game with the tower damage, and also the earlier TP changes from last season also made it that snowballing the early game is very hard because you can't dive, and if you can't dive, I think early game advantages are impossible to snowball. So then you can go for more scaling options like Twitch Yumi.
You said it was harder to snowball, but you snowballed pretty damn hard in this game. You're also the Kia player of the game. You won that one. Congratulations. We were talking a bit beforehand about Excel not making any changes, and the fact that when it comes to the experience on the roster, you are the player with the least experience, which makes me think that you have tons of room to grow, which doesn't mean that you're bad now, because that's how you got it before. But you know, what does that mean for you in terms of your goals for summer and how far you can go with this roster?
I mean, yeah, all my teammates are pretty old and they've been playing for a very long time.
Not
so.
old, experienced.
Experienced, my bad. But I mean, I think for me personally, it feels really great to play with players like this. I think there's some leeway for me because, I mean, I tend to get like a little bit more emotional during scrims and stuff, and having players that they've seen it all, they've been through it all, they handle with me pretty well. And I think it's just, I'm learning a lot from like watching all these veteran players like not play in-game, but like how they act outside the game, and I'm learning from that. So it feels pretty good to have veteran players on the team, I think.
In terms of learnings, I know that you guys went to Korea, as every team basically, to bootcamp, but I think it was your first experience going there. So can you describe me how it was? Because I know that you had some really cool scrims also, and a really strong team to face off. So yeah, tell me about this.
Yeah, Nelson smurfed pretty hard with the scrims. He managed to get, I think we scrimmed most MSI teams, some good LPL teams, yeah, I mean, honestly, just a huge shout out to Nelson. He just like really set us up well. And with me, Korea was very fun. I actually like enjoyed playing solo queue once again, so it's a big benefit for me. I can just play 10 hours a day. And yeah, the scrims were just on a higher level, and the higher level League of Legends I play, the more fun I have. So it was just a very good experience.
I can imagine that it's also a lot of information. That's what teams often say, because this is really unique that all these teams are going to Korea, right? Sometimes it's only the team that won the split that goes to MSI and that gets all this knowledge. How much do you think it's helping, and how do you compartmentalize that? Because I feel like you probably got so many influences, so many ideas.
I'm not sure if it's like really knowledge. I think the players are all just individually a lot better, and they play better as a team. So it's more as you just have to step up. And when you're like playing scrims every day against better players, you either step up or you fall down. And I think usually if you're good players and you know how to improve, you step up. So it's not information. It's more just you have to adapt and you have to learn from how they play and then just get better. And you just I think you automatically get better when you play against better players.
Yeah,
a bit more on that maybe, because whenever I interview junglers especially, and it's their first international experience, they tend to say that, wow, the way a Korean and Chinese jungler play the game is so much different. So have you had this impression also, and anything you've been able to bring back and that's going to help you in the LEC?
I'm not sure if they play different. I think they just play better. I think they're faster, and they punish laners harder when they misplay. They punish junglers harder when they misplay. So it's not different. It's just straight up better.
Okay, cool. Nice to hear. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the Kia player of the game, Markoon. And coming up next is Astralis versus G2 Esports, and we talked to Astralis' new top laner.